Every person is motivated by one of two things: desire for gain or fear of loss. Today, I want to tell you how the RV sales industry is designed to separate you from your money and the shady tactics that they use. I grew up in the car business, and the RV business has just taken a lot of those same shady tactics and amplified them. When someone is shopping for an RV, they're excited. They are motivated by desire for gain. They want to live a dream, and I have to say, it's definitely an awesome dream, and I highly recommend it. But you have to be very careful that the RV salesperson doesn't make it a nightmare. I come from a long line of car salesmen, new car salesmen, used car salesmen, all of them. My grandfather owned Studebaker dealerships in Chicago in the 50s. My father was in the car business and is still in the RV business. And I've been exposed to all of the sales tactics and all of the ways that RV dealers use to separate the buyer from their dollar. And I have to say that a lot of these tactics are really shady and they really irk me. And there's some decent guys that are a little more ethical than others, but in my opinion, almost all of them are guilty of these shady tactics. So I want to break down the whole RV sales process and what they do to break you down and separate you from your hard-earned money. They've tapped into the emotion that you want desire for gain. So what they're going to do is they are going to try to make the RV sales process as exciting as possible. It's kind of like going to a football game or a concert. They've got blow-up gorillas, hot dog machines, popcorn, sometimes even live music. I've seen all kinds of tactics to really hype that energy, and there's a reason for that. Have you ever been at a football game or something for 3 or 4 hours where there's a ton of energy and you get really excited, and when you go home, you are just whipped out? Well, that's the same thing that the RV salespeople want you to do. They want to get you excited. They want to amplify that energy because they know in 3, 4, 5 hours after high energy, you're going to be worn down, and that's when you become vulnerable of making bad decisions. So they want to get you all loaded up on sugar, caffeine, that kind of stuff to help really escalate that excitement level. And really, that's when you're going to make that decision that you're ready to pull the trigger. So now that they've worn you down and you've agreed on a price, this is when you need to be very careful. I've worked in a finance department at a Mercedes dealership before, and I know how long it takes to get all of that documentation ready, and you wonder why you have to usually wait a couple hours from when you make that decision until you actually sign the paper. This is all part of their process to continue to wear you down, because once you go into that finance office, they are going to start to tap into fear of loss. Now they're going to start trying to sell you on extended warranty, which is one of the highest ripoff items there is. If you're buying an extended warranty, the average payback on extended warranty from what they bring in to actual claims is 12%. So if you spend $10,000 on an extended warranty, the statistical probability is that you're going to only have $1,200 in repairs. And I have a whole nother video titled Extended Warranty, a Scam. These extended warranty companies are really good at doing math. Now, the other aftermarket protection plan that is the biggest hoax out there, and I'm a professional detailer, so I really know about this one. It's called All Different Types of Things. The car dealerships do it, RV dealerships do it. I've heard it, the paint protection package or the desert protection package. And really all it is a 90-day spray wax that makes the coach feel nice and smooth. And they hit you for like what we would charge for like 5 to 10 wash and waxes. And they say, oh, well, it has a warranty. I'll tell you what, take that warranty back to the dealership and see what they tell you. that warranty is worth less than the piece of paper that it's printed on. If they try to sell you any type of paint protection package at a dealership, they are probably paying a guy as little as possible. They give him a spray bottle of this schmutz, and you're lucky if he even sprays it all over the coach. A lot of times they only spray the bottom of that half of the coach because they know you're not going to climb on a ladder and feel bad. And as a professional detailer that takes pride in my work, this is one that really ticks me off, because these people come in and they spend $2,500 on a desert protection package that they bought from the dealership and rolled into their payment, and then now they're beating me up on a wash job because all their money's gone from the desert protection package. Now the newest one that they were pushing me really hard when I bought this coach is the new Tyron tire bands. And for the same cost as a new set of Michelin tires, you're supposed to keep your coach safe in the event of a blowout. And I'm not knocking the product, but as hard as this finance guy was pushing me on these, I told him I don't want it. I'd rather spend that same $1,000 per tire on a brand new set of Michelin tires. Like, how long am I going to have this coach for, and how many sets of Michelin tires am I going to buy that are already $1,000 a tire? And now you want me to spend an extra $1,000 on this Tyron tire brand thing? And I don't know a lot about it. Maybe it really is, a safety thing, but boy, they had a video going in the finance office tapping into that fear of loss. Now you just spend all this money on this coach, and you go to sit in the finance office, and literally they have videos playing showing someone having a blowout in their brand new motorhome, trying to tap into that fear of loss. And it's so shady. Buy new Michelin tires. And what you didn't hear is that you need a special tool when changing your Tyron tires, and if you don't have that tool, it's going to be a huge hassle. And I saw a Facebook post on a Tiffin forum recently where someone did have a blowout with the Tyron tire and needed to get their tire changed, and they didn't have that special tool, and it was a huge inconvenience. And they said that the dealership did send them that tool to get them out of a bind. But if you did purchase these Tyron tire bands, make sure you have that special tool in your coach, because if you do have that blowout, now you're going to need a special tool just to change the tire. They used all these tactics on me. I was with a friend recently shopping for new coaches, and someone that's been in the business, what I always do is ask, what is the best deal on the lot? And the salesperson took us over to a 2018 Newmar Mountain Air that had a $600,000 MSRP, and the salesperson on the lot quoted us $350,000. And we have another friend that's actually in the market for a Mountain Air, and I know that if you can get 42% off on a new Mountain Air, that's like that's a deal that I could literally buy that coach and maybe flip it at 39% off, or there was still room to use that coach, buy it, flip. I thought that, wow, if my buddy could really buy this for $350, let's lock it up. Let's get this deal done, and we'll get my buddy down here to buy this coach. But I'll do the negotiating on his behalf. I'm out here for fun, and he's making money. Didn't have time to be going on RV lots, but that's something I like to do. And if I find him a really good deal, he'll throw me a couple bucks on the side, and I'm just happy to do that. So the salesman quoted me $350 on the lot, and this was a real deal. 41.5% off of a new Newmar Mountain Air with a $600,000 sticker. That was like cost on the coach, and it was a good opportunity to help my buddy find a coach that he had been looking for, and I had my ear to the ground. So I was going to try to really make this deal happen for my buddy. And I spent about the next 2.5 hours or so really going over this coach. And I had another friend of mine that's an expert, I would consider an expert in the industry. And really, we went through this coach. We spent the next 2.5 hours. Okay, is there body damage? What is the reason that they're able to give 41.5% off on a brand new Newmar with a warranty start date whenever the coach was purchased? So we were really trying to do our homework, go over this coach thoroughly to make sure that there wasn't any thing else that we were missing that was the reason for this coach being such a good deal. And so I went into the finance office and basically I had a lot of pressure put on me really quickly to make this deal happen. But growing up in the automotive industry, I know that sometimes you actually can get a really good deal on the oldest unit in stock. That's why whenever I go RV shopping or car shopping, I always ask what car or RV has been in stock the longest, because that's the vehicle that they need to sell the most, and that's the vehicle that you can get the best deal on. So this seemed like a real deal. So I go and sit down in the finance office to meet the sales manager, and he tells me the salesperson mistook, and now the deal is $469,000. So he literally bumped me from $350,000 now to $470,000 and said, "Will that work for you?" And I have too much respect for my customers. That would be like me quoting someone on an RV wash and wax $350, and then, hey, what's up, Big Tone?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How do you think those customers would feel if we quoted them $350 on a wash and a wax, and they showed up and it was $470? What would our customers say?
We went back on their deal, like our deals. They're not gonna like it.
No, you don't treat people like that. Like, if they thought they were paying $350 and then now all of a sudden it jumps to $470, they're gonna be upset. So I couldn't believe this. So now I'm sitting in a sales office. What will you buy the coach for? And I said $350, the same number. So then he comes back and he says, "Well, how about $439? If I could do it for $439, would you buy it right now?" And whenever someone starts doing all that, "If I could do it for this, would you buy it right now?" Dude, that's what they taught in like the 80s in car sales. Like, have a little more respect for people, and don't try to play these stupid little, "If I could do this, would you do that?" You know, these little sales games. It's just, have a little more respect for me. And I even told the guy, like, "Listen, I'm in the business. I don't want to sit here and go back and forth. Just tell me what your rock bottom deal is." So now another 30 minutes go by. He comes out and he says, "Well, how about $429? And I'm like, "Dude, right here, I could buy this same coach for $409 at a dealership in Texas, $600,000 MSRP. They've got it listed for $409. And I like this guy better because he didn't just try to tear my head off for $470. What if I would have said yes for $470? You just get another $50,000 because you're a better negotiator and someone didn't do all of their homework." You just have more respect for people than that. So this guy, kept going with the sales tactics, and I'm like, "Dude, this is messed up." And he ended up throwing, basically they're like, "Oh, you guys need to get out of here," because I'm like, I want to buy this coach for $350. You said you'd sell it to me for $350. And he kept going back and forth with the 1980s style used car tactics, and it was just a huge turnoff. And that was like 4 or 5 hours of my time where I would have never, if I would have never had that salesperson walk me to that coach and say, "Hey, I can do this deal on this coach," I would have never wasted 5 hours of my time. And I told that story to one of my friends who owned RV dealerships, and he's like, "Dude, we used to do that same thing all the time." This was back in the Shady. He was admittedly a former Shady RV salesman. He's like, we'd have the new green pea out there, get them all excited, and then say, "Oh, he misquoted ya," because they're sold on that. Once they have that number, and they mentally think that they're purchasing that, they want it. They mentally have purchased this coach in their mind now. And then it's easier to kind of bump them a little bit because they're already hooked on that item. So this whole sales tactics of wearing people down, making them spend 4 to 5 hours of their time just in the negotiations. We're not talking about actually buying the coach, about looking at the coach. This is just in talking about numbers. Like, why can't we just have it be like stores, like Walmart? Imagine if you went to Walmart, or every time you went to buy a pair of shoes, you had to negotiate and you had to wait for the sales manager to come back with a final number. It's just a really sleazy way, and most of the RV dealerships are guilty of it because that's how they make the big profits. And I love people prospering in life, but when they're taking advantage of other people and using shady RV sales tactics, that's when I'm going to call them out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm Andrew Steele. Please subscribe if you want to see more RV related content.